Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Tara, and we are going to talk about the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Chapter 14 is called Lupercalia. So, full spoilers for the episode, as always. So, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about sex this episode, so brace yourselves for that. We have orgies, we have wolf headdresses and hunting each other through the woods.
Yeah, things get real weird.
They do. I would go as far to say the last 5-10 minutes are a bit stupid.
A little bit, yeah.
See when it panned over and like Nick was wearing this wolf like headdress, but he was otherwise in his underwear. I just thought this is silly.
Yeah, it's a little goofy. I guess it was supposed to be like the opposite of the Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf,
I guess, sure,
because
yeah.
all the girls look like the Red Riding Hood. I don't know. The lore was a little unclear.
I just, I mean, that's just address the first thing is that the Academy have their version of Valentine's Day, this Lupercalia, where it's all about building up to just an orgy essentially. So that's whatever, fine. They're satanic. The other
Hmm.
thing, I think you mentioned on the last review, maybe the first one, that you get a little bit uncomfortable sometimes when there's like people this age having like sex scenes. So there's a scene in the middle of this episode, the second night of this ceremony. It's like a 3-day thing. They just go out into the woods and like sleep next to each other, but they do it in their underwear, looking up at the stars. So there's a whole
Yeah.
sequence of this episode where, I mean, he's topless, whatever, but and it's not so much that even the Shipka's in her underwear, but she's in like like stockings and garters, and like she's just lying there,
Yeah,
and I'm
she's
like,
full like BDSM or yeah.
uh,
It's a little risque.
I'm just like, this is weird. I don't know, like I don't know if I need this in my life. It's funny actually. I will say that we've been doing this thing where we parallel the two schools, right? At least
Hmm.
this one made more sense because it was like a holiday. It was like Valentine's Day and then the witch version of Valentine's Day at the same time. So okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense. That makes sense. What did you make of this episode? I said the ending was quite stupid, but how did you feel?
Yeah, I didn't love this episode. There were parts in it that were pretty cool. I liked Zelda a lot in the episode because she's like super into the orgy
Oh, she's horny
for
as
some
shit.
reason.
Yeah, there's a scene where Sabrina's voicing her concerns and asking about what the whole thing is.
Yeah, with both of her aunts.
Yeah, and Zelda's basically like, because Sabrina says, I'm not like engaging in sex yet, and then Zelda's like, what a better time to start then? Get on it.
Yeah, it's so funny because she's, the conservative type on the show, and you would think that she would be the one to be like, well, whenever you're ready, there's no rush. But really, she's the conservative version of this religion, which is, well, the Dark Lord would want you to do it. So, yeah,
he, he
just
he would want
give
you to
in to
bone
the
down.
passion
Yeah.
and give in to the night. And
So here's the
yeah.
thing. Throughout the episode, they're hearing a wolf, right? And then it turns out that that's Nick's familiar, and he says that this wolf gets so jealous that he tried to lock her away, but she keeps showing up, and especially when he's attracted to someone, when he's got a genuine connection with a woman, she gets really jealous. And
Hmm.
he basically has a scene where he goes off and kills it and brings out his heart. I thought it was really weird that we didn't see any of that. I mean, it makes sense
Me
later on.
too. I thought they were setting something up.
Yeah,
So, like, instantly, I didn't buy it.
but at the end of the episode, they're out. They're supposed to be having sex. They're getting naked, and the wolfy familiar shows up, and we have this scene. And I actually kind of like the scene where it was like Sabrina talking to it, like she was trying to like reason with her and say, "Look, I know he means a lot to you, and he means a lot to me too." She was trying to like kind of like talk sense to her, and that
Hmm.
was fine. Um, but then Sabrina has to brutally kill it while it's like attacking him. And the end of the episode, like he's covered in blood, and she kind of hugs him. And for a second, I thought they were about to start having sex while he was covered in blood.
Me too. Yeah, I thought they were going to go there also,
And they didn't.
and it was going to be.
He just breaks down and like they're just kind of hugging, and she's sort of like holding him at the end. But like I genuinely thought
Mhm.
it was going to get really weird.
They looked like they were about to pound down, but yeah, I guess they held back.
Yeah, pound down in the blood. Yeah.
Gross.
This is like
Little blood orgy.
for those of you who don't know, Tara's vegan. This is like the opposite of veganism. This is killing an animal and then having sex in its blood.
I mean, it's the same as having sex on a leather sofa. Tell me the difference, Peter. Tell me.
I'm willing to do that one. That's the difference. If the blood's still
Okay.
warm, no. No.
Do we really think that that's a familiar of his? Because I don't know. I don't know how I feel about Nick's character. Like, especially this episode, they were really building him up as like Mr. Perfect. You know, he wasn't rushing Sabrina at all into anything that she didn't feel comfortable doing. He just seemed a little too perfect these last 3 episodes. I don't know. Like, so whenever you killed a familiar, don't they like transform into a goblin?
That's a good question. Yeah, was that
Haven't
like
we seen something like that before?
yeah, was that a firm rule for all familiars, or was that just for like the one that we saw in season 1 or in part 1? Sorry, we don't use seasons on Sabrina.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm a little salty about that.
I don't know. I was getting vibes like maybe, I mean, because the werewolf familiar that showed up didn't seem to actually want to hurt Sabrina.
Yeah, there's a lie here. It feels like there's something good on that we don't know about. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it even felt kind of dark when Sabrina was killing her because she was like stabbing her multiple times, and it was kind of like, okay, is this another sign that Sabrina's like going off the deep end a little bit, that she's giving into her dark side, that she's giving into the Dark Lord and yada yada yada, stuff that we've been playing with. It's hard to say. I mean, I guess if I'm going to try and analyze this and try and like give it some credibility and say, okay, what is this really about? Like, the idea that this is his beast, that this is his like sexual thirst. That's what this wolf represents. And it's the idea that it's dangerous to Sabrina because it's this, not just because sex in itself is dangerous to Sabrina, because it's this sort of like idea, but the idea that he's dangerous specifically. So it's like his sexual lust is represented as a wolf, and then she kills it, and then like I don't know. I'm trying to like give it some sort of meaning beyond just he's up to something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, wolves howling at moons is always supposed to be like suggestive anyway. I don't know. Maybe I've just always thought so.
You got a wolf fetish, no shame.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Not leap to any conclusions here.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the last like 10 minutes, I just thought were a bit weird, and then the ending, it felt a bit murky, and its intention for like of what it was doing. I don't know. I felt a bit murky on it. I'll just say it was all bad. I liked her astral projecting to Roz for like advice.
Yeah. And Roz's storyline really, had a lot this week too, or this episode too, because she had her and Harvey are like together.
Yeah, they go to the dance together. She gets Sabrina's permission. They kiss. She admits she's like I'll call her precog, but
yeah, she tells Harvey something like, "I can see visions from not just the past, but also the future. Like, visions from the past are just memories. Like, everybody has those."
Yeah, why would anyone assume that a vision from the past, or when you say you've got visions, that it would be from the... I don't know, that's weird. And I like that he acknowledges that, yeah, you're right, like, being weird's a bit of a trigger after the whole witch thing. Because that's the first thing he asks. He's like, "Are you a witch?" And she's like, "No, definitely not." It's like, okay, good. Second, I like you're honest, though, so let's meet with the smoochies. And there we go. But she goes blind by the end of the episode, because that was something they set up in the first part, is that she was losing her eyesight.
Right. Did they ever... I thought they acknowledged that in season 1. Like, didn't they fix it?
I don't think they fixed it. No,
no?
I think it was still lingering.
Okay.
So now it's just...
I really wish that the show would do like a recap of like, here's what you need to know going into these episodes. Because part one seemed like a long time ago. There's a lot that I forgot.
Yeah, no, I definitely did too. Because I actually, I remembered the tease that like Hilda's like boss was like something else in the finale.
Yeah, he
But
had like glowing eyes.
yeah, but I'd forgotten about it until it kind of like started to act up, and I was like, oh yeah, I remember them teasing this. That's right, that's right. But it took me
Mhm.
like I didn't know it when she went in to see him. That said, though, probably some of my favorite stuff actually this episode was Hilda and him because it was the idea of her like dressing up and trying to seduce him and like take advantage because
Yeah, that's really fun.
Zelda's like you're the what was the phrase? What would she call her? You're the hunter or something. I don't know. Go and take what's yours. Go capture
Yeah,
your prey.
Huntress.
All that stuff. And then he
Yeah, Zelda is really into this whole holiday.
yeah, she's a dirty. Let's just call it what it is. She's a dirty.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
I was a really,
She was my favorite this episode.
that was a really Scottish thing to say. I apologize. It didn't land very well. Um, so so he turns out he's an incubus, and that's obviously we cut at one point to her holding a roller, and he's like trying to explain what he is, and basically when she tells Zelda about this, like Zelda's like, whatever, you just need some change, you need this, you need that, and you can lock him up, and you get through it. It's fine. I've had some.
She definitely is speaking from experience.
Yes, I've had some rough and tumble with some incubus and some sex demons. Of course I have. Don't be ridiculous. Straightforward
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to mention with Roz's eyesight thing, because they kept bringing up witches and Harvey and Sabrina are not together anymore. But do you think they're probably going to blame Sabrina for making her go blind out of jealousy?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think their main.
You think they're gonna assume it's her?
I could see Harvey thinking because Harvey seems to be hell bent on hating her right now.
Yeah.
I don't think Roz will think that, but Harvey might. Like, yeah, I can see that.
I wonder if that's what they're setting up. But anyway, yeah, the succubus or no, incubus. I actually don't know what an incubus is.
Oh, that's what they said, though, right? I'm not misremembering that.
No. You said you're remembering right, but I don't think they really explained pretty well what it was.
Yeah, so he's an incubus, and she's going to try and make it work. He says he loves her, actually, which came it a little bit far. I was like, okay, all right, we're at love already. Okay, all right, romance themes and show.
Yeah,
plots.
so the idea is that he can't get too aroused.
Yep.
Or the incubus, the demon, comes out. So the relationship is going to be, I don't know. Zelda has experience with this, so I'm sure they'll make it work.
Yeah, I mean, Hilda, when he says, "Oh, I can't be around you because you excite me too much," like she has this little smirk in her face. She's like, "Oh, really? I do I?"
I think Zelda has been my favorite character over these first 3 episodes because she's been great. Like just becoming the complete opposite of what she was last season, of being just such a stickler for the rules and tradition, and now she's like really standing up for herself. But it's been fun seeing her interactions with her sister this episode, especially. I thought she was really funny, and it's been great seeing Hilda have more to do because she hasn't really done anything the first couple episodes. So
yeah,
they've been my favorite part.
And it's worth mentioning Zelda gets a proposal. Blackwood proposes to her this episode, and she's like, "I'm going to take some time to think about it." And see, when she talks to Hilda, she's like, "Yeah, of course I'm going to do it, but not because I love him, but because I can advance my own goals, my own career. Like I can use this."
Yeah.
She's playing him.
She called him like a good opponent of marriage or something.
Yeah.
I thought that was an interesting way to phrase it, but probably accurate.
Yeah. Because Helen's just like, "Oh, I can bake. There's going to be a black wedding. Yeah, we could have fun with us." And, that is what it is. So we should talk about Wardwell though, because Wardwell's fiance shows up during this episode, and who should walk in the door, but the rogue demon hunter from the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Well, technically the spin-off, but he was in Buffy too.
Okay. I thought he looked familiar, but I don't know if I recognized him from Buffy. I
He,
don't know what I knew him from.
he was in season 3 of Buffy, so you did see him. You did see him. That was when
Was
he
he at the
first.
school?
He wasn't a student. He was a new Watcher who came in. He was like Faith's Watcher in season 3.
Okay. Because he kind of reminded me of the mayonnaise guy, the guy who doesn't like mayonnaise in his fingernails.
Okay. He.
That's not him, though?
No, no.
Okay.
I don't think so. um, what was weird for this for me is that he had a British accent on Buffy and Angel, and he was so good at it that whenever I hear his American accent, it sounds like he's putting on a fake American accent. It sounds phony, and so yeah, that goes for here too. Like it feels like he's putting on an accent, and it's his real accent, but it sounds. Oh, what are you doing? Stop it.
Yeah, that's a complaint I have with the guy who plays Ambrose. He just doesn't sound like he's a real person to me. He sounds like he's making an accent up. And you've told me that that's his real accent, but I still think he's just acting all the time. Nobody talks like that.
So Wardwell tries to kill him a couple of times to get him out of her hair. He's like, "No, I'm back home now. I'm not going to travel for work anymore. I'm with you, my love." And and he insists on going to dance with her because she's chaperoning the Valentine's dance. And this was just kind of delightful that she's got this person she has to play off. Now, like, I almost want a sitcom of her being this evil, monster.
Oh my God, I know, right? And like he's like super Christian.
Nice, yeah. He's like, your
He's
cross
the
was
complete
upside
opposite.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, let me fix the cross. It was upside down. Can you believe that?
And I love the idea that she's just constantly almost killing him, but either something interrupts her or she decides not to because she's useful for something or whatever. Cause
she seemed pretty into him at the end.
Yeah, because she was about to stab him with a fire poker or something, and then he just goes, "Oh, dinner's ready," and he gets up and leaves. And I was like, I want more of this. I want more close calls where she almost kills him.
Yeah, I love this setup. I hope this goes on for the entirety of the series at this point because they're great.
Yeah, and other than that, of the stuff I've glossed over is just more stuff with Sabrina and Nick. They go to the Valentine's dance, and he's like, "Oh, Sabrina, this is the other part of your world, the mortal world." Oh,
yeah. Every time Sabrina like shows up in that world, I can kind of fast forward through that. I do like seeing everybody else though, because Theo had a pretty good storyline because Theo told his dad about what happened, or what now, about what. Like who he is now and who he wants to be called. And his dad was really resistant at first. Or just like, are you sure you don't want to be a pretty girl?
Yeah,
my pretty girl.
What I liked about this is that he is resistant because it's a kind of a shock to his system. But by the end of the scene, he actually kind of comes around. He's not a dick about it. He
just says, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because if Theo's like, okay, you could take me to get a haircut. Because I actually thought things were going to get bad, but when he eventually said, "Don't call me Susie, call me Theo now," I thought, "Oh, that's going to be the straw." Like, because I thought the dad was about to snap, like he was about to reach his breaking point where this wasn't going to be something he could process.
Yeah.
But no, sure enough, he's like, "Yeah, we'll go get a haircut. I'll take you to the barber's. It's fine."
You could tell it's going to take him a while to adjust.
Sure,
but
it's
something he's willing to do for his daughter. So.
Yeah, or son in this case now.
Or son now. Yeah.
It's
going to take an adjustment period for me also.
I actually really like the scene where Harvey's teaching him how to tie a tie.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Even though to me it's ridiculous because everyone can tie a tie where I grew up, but whatever.
You guys have uniforms in schools.
Yes.
Not in America.
Yes. Civilized. I joke about that, but I mean, I would have loved not to have to wear a uniform in school. It was a pain.
I would have loved it. Like, I didn't have to pick clothes out. I was already so bad at it, so.
Yeah, I feel like as a guy, though, I'd have been like, t-shirt, jeans, right, done. Off I go to school. True. Yeah, I wouldn't have stressed over it. But I agree that for you, it might have been more stressful. People judging you about what you're wearing, the way you wear the same thing as your friends. I don't know. Am I getting this right? Is this American high school dynamics? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a little PTSD from high school.
Well, all the
Sounds
jocks are
about
easy.
right.
All the jocks,
A lot of it I blocked out.
all the jocks just wear the Letterman jackets, so you'll have to think about it.
Uh, yeah, I guess so. I never
So
really
I
got
think,
to get close to them. They wouldn't let me, so I didn't get close enough to see what they wore.
yeah. It is worth mentioning though that Theo gets an apology from Billy the bully.
Yeah,
Again,
that seems kind of sudden.
that was kind of sudden, and it was weird to me because it was kind of like almost like teaching Theo the wrong lesson. That he used the magic to like make him trip, and
Yeah, because he specifically cites that example of why he is nice now.
yeah, and it's like, wait, so what you're saying is you almost killing him worked and made him a better person. That feels like the wrong lesson to take from this.
Yeah, there are a lot of wrong lessons in this episode, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But there's still enough in it that I like. I also like the moment with Wardwell and her familiar when she's just kind of looking at him and he like well he doesn't talk, so he just what does a bird do? Squawk.
Yeah.
He just kind of walks at her and she has that like Lassie moment, like the what? Timmy stuck in the well? Except it's the bird is telling her to poison the punch bowl at the dance. It was a little like Twisted Lassie meets Son of Sam
And
moment.
again, the fiance Wesley Wyndham Price intervenes.
Right, right.
Also,
Yeah, I really do like that storyline. I'm excited to see where it goes.
yeah, and his name's Adam, by the way, which I thought was, because she even reacts to that as if Adam. I'm like, yeah, we get. Is there going to be an Eve? Are we going to get an Eve like later in the season?
Yeah, I thought of that too.
I could see it. I could see it. No, it's funny because I think that, bizarrely the weakest part of this episode was the main plot, and I don't usually say that about this show, but I think it was in this case. Whereas a lot of the side stories with the characters were mostly kind of enjoyable, and Wardwell's got this whole new dynamic. Obviously I like seeing Alex Denisoff as in there, but I actually do really like that, and I had a lot of fun with the Hilda stuff. Zelda's pretty fun too, so everything else was good, but the main plot was just, I don't know, a little bit. I feel like at this point we've had so many of here's the witch version of this thing, that at this point it's like they're just trying to talk themselves, like, okay, this one is just they all just have sex, they're just wild animals, they have sex and orgies and everything, and they have to pick like they end up with a random warlock. There's no choice, they just dance around the circle. It's musical chairs, basically. It's musical chairs, and whatever warlock they're nearest to, that's the way you're going to be having sex with in 2 days. And I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah, it's all right. It's like a little borderline True Blood at this point.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I'm getting some, and that's not a good thing because I hated True Bloods.
Yeah, I couldn't get into it either. Too many blood orgies.
Yeah, sucker. Anyway, that's episode 3 of Sabrina. So we'll be back day after tomorrow with episode 4. You can look forward to that. By all means, let us know what you thought of this episode in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all the usual things. That helps us out. As does, of course, going over to patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, where you can support us for as little as $1 per month. Next time I'm going to make Tara do the outro and do all the plugs. It's going to be hilarious.
Oh God. I'm not ready.
Well, what do you get at
Teach me,
Patreon?
Sensei.
What do you get? What do you get on Patreon? If they go and sign up to Patreon for as little as $1 per month, what do they get?
You get episodes early. You get if you for $1 a month, you get some episodes early, including our Twilight Zone reviews.
Yeah, there you go.
If you donate, is it $5? You get to vote on what movies that you will review with some other people.
The confidence here is like goes through the roof. Like, I've never seen such confidence in a human being before. You could take on the world right now.
I feel it. Yeah. I feel like Alexander the Great right now.
I'm glad you went back and specified some episodes, because the way you said it the first time, it's not like every episode, because apparently I'm like, no, don't imply that.
Well, you're not going to get the Sabrina's a week early.
Yeah. But yeah, so that is us. So thank you once again for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Keep watching TV, guys. Tara can do my outro line.
Have you got any vanilla?